Roger John Madden sitting on the side of my bed at like 4:20 in the morning. I got a lot of deep sleep earlier, and I've been up since 3, watching my videos and making a couple videos. I want to talk about my friend Eric Freeman, a homeless blues man who I brought in off the streets of Asheville, North Carolina, in the winter of 2020, before we knew the COVID was spreading. And Eric had lived homeless a lot in his life. Brilliant man, uh, really super talented blues guitarist, acoustic, and rough. He knew he knew the life of the streets, and I was like this middle class management consultant, uh, and homeless hookers. Eric would bring home homeless meth head hookers, not for sex. He would turn down their offers of sex. He could get sex anywhere he wanted. He was like catnip for women. But just he couldn't bear to see how vulnerable they were out on the winter streets of Asheville. And he knew that I hadn't gotten any for a long time. And 3 times he sent one of these girls, he would pay them the $20 for a blowjob and send them back in with me. And they weren't real hookers. They just were drug addicts. And when they needed a fix, they would turn a trick. So like the first couple were just, I was really horny. I was really, long time I hadn't gotten any. But they were so rough and so awkward. And the one girl said, I'm sorry, my technique is terrible. I'd say, no, your technique is great. I'm just not in the mood. So go sleep. Go back out there and sleep. The third one was Rebecca. And she was much cuter than the others. But I could tell as she came through the door that she was cracked. Oh, was she out there? Later on, I got to know her and realized when she was sober, she was fine. She was wonderful. But when she was on meth, forget it. So I said, no, no sex. Let's go sit on the bed, let's talk. And we ended up at like 2 in the morning, sitting on my bed, 5th-floor apartment, looking out at the streets and making up stories about what we were seeing unfolding out on the streets. And we were like kids. It was sweet. It was lovely. And then weeks later, I got to know this very attractive woman in the homeless community because I would hang with the homeless. Eric was homeless again because I had left my apartment. And I met this really great woman. I got to talking to her, and she says, you don't remember me, do you? No. Rebecca. I said, are you that Rebecca? Yeah, that's me. Well, she was completely different because she was sober. And she was really a cool woman. Brilliant. As we walked the streets of Asheville, she could pick up a song she had never heard before. By 3 bars, she was singing it. I don't know what was going on in her mind that she was so brilliant around music, but she was. I learned from her to only take as much drags of a cigarette as you need. She'd take 3 drags and say, good, I'm in. I got what I needed from it. Wonderful, amazing woman. And we became really good friends. And I came back to Asheville after the winter, and she had lost like 30 pounds. She was skin and bones, living in a tent behind the supermarket. I said, did you ever get in out of the cold? No. But I ran into a tricky situation with my dog, and she was right there. She helped me. She steered me. And I never asked for photos from homeless people. But I asked her once, I said, I'm leaving Asheville, the whole area. Would you let me have a photo? And it was in an iPhone that's long gone, so I probably don't have that photo anymore. But Rebecca, what a dear, and you introduced me to the concept of not judging. I mean, you didn't introduce me the first time, but boy, did I learn. Do not judge a person because every one of us is so fucking complicated. And Thich Nhat Hanh, my old teacher, used to say, modern science is showing that the whole universe is contained in a mote of dust, the DNA. and we think we know the person in the passenger seat next to us. No, get over that notion.